I'm just going to talk as quiet as possible the whole way through. I'm a Geordie anyway, nobody understands me.
I wasn't going to raise it because I can't really show that cat. We're at the Hobbit.
Do you have the big feet?
We've got the posh one, the West Country one, the big Geordie one.
Hello guys, and welcome to what will hopefully be the first of many videocasts from over in the UK here. We're very proud to bring you episode 1. We haven't thought of a title for episode 1, so we'll just make something up and put it down in the YouTube explanation for the video. Over the side we've got Squirrel Girl himself, Matt Pritchard. Mr. Pitchfork, I'll do a riot, Ashley Knox down there, and the judge himself, Gary Hewitt. How are you guys all doing?
Good.
Cool. Well, there's obviously a reason we're recording this. There's been rumblings in the world of Versus, a lot of stuff's happened. Last week Gamma happened with a whole host of announcements for both this game and the other products. But January to April, well, for the year itself, they've got a lot of stuff they're intending to fit in. January to April, for Versus Systems got the Marvel Legacy set and the Versus OP kit. Yep, kit number one. Kit number one of 3. Is there going to be
This is him to win and Matt not to.
3.
3? Oh! Too soon.
Too soon. I like how you introduced him second as well.
I was going to, but I didn't want to hurt the lad's feelings, you know, it's like... He's not second, he's Squirrel Girl.
Anyway,
yeah, no, there's 3. 3
3 kits this year. Right. They haven't previewed any of the kits yet either, have they? No, they didn't show any, no. Because obviously the Legendary kit got previewed a fair few weeks ago. Which I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if anybody else plays Legendary.
oh yeah.
Yep, looking forward to it. So we've got a Legacy set coming. Everybody's excited for Legacy. Is there anything... Well, everybody knows what Matt's looking forward to in Legacy.
Yeah, she's the best. She is the best.
She is the best.
I don't know. I think I like something a little bit more.
Yeah. No, this. Yeah, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat.
Well, no, I am. I don't know about my opponents.
I know the most important...
For a punch in the face is the question. What's the judge ruling for a punch in the face?
I think a verbal warning should be sufficient.
Yeah.
Nothing more than a verbal.
In the case of this MC, maybe that's okay.
Yeah. No.
This expansion's also the first expansion where well, it's not errated cards, it's actually replacement cards for banned cards, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
It's just they're just getting rid of stuff for competitive. Really, that's what it is. They just want like the non-competitive players to still be able to play their favorite characters. But like Thanos isn't as good, obviously.
Yeah.
Cosmo, well, everyone's
Like
does now. It's kind of cool. It works in certain decks, but yeah, it's not what it was.
Yeah, but that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Walking into a tournament knowing that in 3 of these rounds on turn 4 my hand is gone and I can't win that game is just it's not worth going. And now there's a bit more play to it. And I think the level 2 is still good, but it isn't your only game plan. Like your game plan now is probably more to do with the first green ability. And now your locations are free. You get to play the cool stuff like Ronan.
Definitely, yeah. No, he is interesting. I've tested a few builds. They're alright. It's just not the same, you know. You don't get those feels that you're just being a horrible person by playing him.
Well, nothing's ever going to feel the same as playing the way you did with the first Thanos, though, is it? It'd be quite bad if anything gets anywhere near as close as that.
Cosmo has been banned and replaced, and I don't agree that that's a good idea. Because I liked having him in the format, knowing that if I was going to do something stupid and broken, that there's a get out clause for people to do. Like Cosmo and Yondu was a part one of trying to beat the Dark Phoenix deck.
Hmm.
And now that Cosmo's a little bit worse, I don't know what the plan is. Maybe they tested the Drax deck that's going to happen, and they know that if that deck leads with Cosmo, like nothing can beat it. You know, maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe the card quality that's coming is just going to be so good that it just doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Maybe other people weren't happy with Cosmo. I didn't really understand it at the time. What do you think, Matt?
No, Cosmo is obviously good, but it was a needed card. Like you said, it stopped. Like it could bring you back into a game from a good drawn Cosmo, but it could also ruin a game for the other player from like a turn one Cosmo onto like a mediocre MC or onto Luke Cage. So it's a good
Luke
MC.
Cage mirror.
It's just brutal. It can just win you the game with that one card, but at the same time, you've still got a card. You can still play. You can still play your turn. It probably would have been better if it was for both turns, but if you singularity it away and they kill your sing, you still get it on their turn. It's okay. It's
a little bit better now as well in another way. And Gary's here, he can jack me. You've got a Valkyrie in play, you've got a Cosmo in play, and a Cosmo in the bin, and you just loop them around. You get to Cosmo all of their stuff, right?
Yeah. You do, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not a while he's in play.
Yeah, so for certain decks it's slightly better. So like the more disruptive, loads of cheap characters decks, it's slightly better, but on a whole it's no longer this basically one cost generic plot twist that you put in your deck to slow your opponent down. So maybe it is better. What do you think, Gary, anyway?
I think it's going to make life a little bit more interesting. There were certain decks that just didn't show up because Cosmo would turn up on turn one and go, "You're done." So I think more variety is good. It's the big benefit of the Thanos ban as well. So from a judging perspective, we're going to see more stuff, more interesting stuff going on tables. I think it has its place still as a card, as a late game card now, because it will break up defenses. It will make combat interesting for one resource point. So I think it's gone from being a no-brainer card, which drops in every deck and then just is played, to a deck that now will go into decks that can leverage it and be almost more disruptive now, as you pointed out, even though it's not lasting as long. So if it's not fun, it doesn't drain the fun because your opponent still gets to do their stuff. So it should be an entertaining card to play with and against now, as opposed to you see it turn up on the other side of the table. If you can't deal with it, the game's not fun to play.
Yeah.
So I can see why it was there, but I think it's probably going to be a more entertaining card now for me.
Yeah, it's like better gameplay in general because it is a main phase game where pretty much everything is about combat and it's all about your turn.
Yeah.
And then in their turn, you're very limited in what you can actually do. So things only lasting for your turn, it's probably quite interesting because you get to do your stuff, they get to do their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so perhaps it's more what the game's intended to be. I keep looking at it.
You're looking at it.
I'm looking at it. I want to talk about it.
It's pretty good.
Outside blocks.
We spoke about it since we had the reveal to us that this was the card that we had, and yeah it's pretty cool. I obviously would have wanted Squirrel Girl, but you know this is probably better. I would say this is. I'm more excited about this than Squirrel Girl, and that says something. Like this card is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I suspect from the judge's perspective, this is going to be the card that causes some questions.
Yeah, you know, we're keeping you busy, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know you really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So JP, reveal me. Let's see.
Have you got as if by magic as it appears?
Right. By the power. Here we go. So our spoiler for tonight is... Bing! He's on the screen. Baron Mordo.
Mordo.
He's the bomb.
So good.
So Gary, we're going to need you for this.
Gary, just for the sake of the viewing public, can you first remind everybody about the keyword hex.
Yeah, I've not seen this in a while.
Yeah, Hex was previously only on Scarlet Witch,
Hmm.
and it basically means that whilst you can gain XP, you can't actually level up, which is pretty harsh.
So good.
Amazingly, Scarlet Witch didn't see that much play because generally she just got flattened when she showed up. But well timed, coming back to skill play again, well timed, that could ruin somebody else's plan quite spectacularly.
Mm.
And this dude has it, and he's on the field all the time.
He's amazing.
That makes him a pain.
It's amazing.
But
And then you look at his level 1. His level 1's pretty good.
yeah,
The best bit about his level 1 is the colour.
Yes.
It's blue.
yeah.
And you know what colour the good discard is? It's yellow. So you're not clashing on resources. So you play this guy, you play Baron Zemo, you play Ronan, your opponent just doesn't have a hand. Gary, we're going to talk about some interesting stuff that is a discard that you won't think is. So those 4 experience are really easy to get. And I'm not sure if we're ready to show you what level 2 is yet, but I want to pop over to Gary to ask him, what else is a discard that you wouldn't think was?
There are a number of abilities in this game that say if you discard a card, you do X. For example, power up. That'll do it. Yeah, I want to get that triple attack benefit from my alien.
Perfect organism?
And oh look, I've gained another XP for Mordo.
Mhm.
So good.
So your opponent doing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
That's Mordo.
And it's worth noting that Carl, who is the best plot twist in the game, is a discard.
Yep.
That's a level up for you.
Hmm.
It's so good. Like, as soon as you said that, it was just made it so much easier because you don't even have to rely on what you've got.
Hmm.
It's just if your opponent to play certain decks, they want to power up. They want to do that. So like Iron Man,
Does
this
not
completely destroys Iron Man.
Yeah.
It's just as Iron Man was starting to get a little bit better, it was just like, oh no, wait, Mordo completely shuts you down, and then you've got Mr. Grimm. It's just it's beautiful.
I mean, let's be clear. It just means that Mordo's guaranteed to level against Iron Man.
Oh no, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's running at 2-4 with range initially. It's not the scariest stat line in the world as level 1.
That's a good
So-
reason.
But he's not going to be it for very long,
Exactly, that's the thing.
fundamentally. So I like the fact that he's the opposite of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's awesome from a thematic perspective. You know, I've always liked the artwork as well. I think there's a lot about this level 1 card you just go, yeah, that's a good, solid level 1 card with a really interesting ability, and Hex is just comedy.
I'm pushing it, but you can do this as many times in a turn as you like.
It's pretty good.
You get
Level 1, turn 1. Like,
you get a strong blue hand, and your opponent suddenly, especially if you're going second, if your opponent hasn't even drawn on turn 1,
Mm.
you know, you can seriously limit their options fairly rapidly.
yeah. It's worth noting that though he is fragile, the stuff that you're going to pair him with is quite beefy and can just sit in the front.
Yeah.
Like if you park a Ronan in front of him, like your opponent is just not getting through. You know, he's a big guy with 2 wounds, so he's definitely sticking around. You know, you are getting activations out, and this feels like the control card that we finally get that can actually win on time, because Professor X was the control deck, but you couldn't win on time because the earliest turn you could win was like turn 11, because you have to spend the first 4 turns not attacking.
Mm.
So this can be like an aggressive, you know, tempo play with loads of disruption.
And obviously, as the eagle-eyed people can see, it's got 5 wings. Some
Yes.
people can cry in about 5 wings. Like
Mm.
the
Wounds is
last
good.
couple of days. 5 wounds makes this kind of fair. Like 6 wounds, 7 definitely wouldn't be fair. Like
Yes, 6 gets us in Thanos territory where everyone could get that guy to just having one wound left, and you could just never finish the game.
Yeah.
And just from playing the Magneto deck that Kirk made, which was probably going to play very, very similar to this, you get to a point of the game where you've taken 3 wounds, and it's like turn 6 or 7, and you will never take a wound again unless a Ghost Rider shows up. So if you're also playing some Fems, perhaps you can just deal with that because you can KO their graveyard, which is a nice little combo with seeing their hand early and often and putting stuff in the bin.
And she happens to be on colour as well, which is always nice.
Yeah, blue and yellow is my favourite colour combination in this game. Just 'cause it tends to be the more like mental powers rather than physical.
Yeah.
And we haven't even shown him the level 2 yet.
We haven't.
We showed him level 1 and gone, he's mean.
Yeah, because we've seen the level 2. And I think thematically we've not let you see level 2 yet.
No.
Yeah.
Because that's what the card does. You don't get to see level 2.
No.
Yeah. The thing with this card, I think, is an absolute just gem of what they've done in terms of like research and development, and they've obviously play tested it. It seems like a really good card. It's not ridiculously overpowered. Obviously, you've not seen the level 2 yet. We have. It's pretty good, but it's not like Thanos broke. It's not ridiculous. I think that they've done a really good job here.
And on that bombshell, shall we go link into level 2?
I think so.
Why not?
Here's level 2.
Get to level 2.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Read it.
No,
And
it's,
ooh.
We'll give them a moment to read Hypnotize.
Yep.
Yep. It is that good.
I think we need Gary for this one.
yeah, we do, yeah. So, Gary, we've been arguing amongst ourselves about this power, what it means, what it doesn't mean. First off, we were like, does it mean that if you've got Hex and you do it, what happens? So, Gary, tell us.
Well, firstly, the Hex stops you leveling up by the benefit of gaining experience. This has its own inbuilt reset. So yes, you go down to level 1 and you're there until the start of the Mordo player's next turn. That's fine, that's a fixed event. At the start of the next turn, irrespective of whether Mordo is face up or not, you're going to go back up to level 2 because the power's a temporary effect. Chad will criticise me for poor wording or something along the lines. When he sees this, I'm going to get all manner of messages. But yeah, essentially, you're not forcing him to re-level up like Groot does to himself. It's you're temporarily a bit smaller, which stops it being utterly depressing, but at the same time opens up a whole world of interesting timing questions from a skill set, playing it at the right time. It's going to be an interesting one.
You can theoretically just activate this every single one of your turns at a certain point in the game, and your opponent will never be a level 2 again.
Yeah.
Because I guess you only have to do it like 3 times in a row because the game's over. Your opponent's main character's tiny, and you're playing stuff like Black Cat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy's got ranged, so
He's a 5-second range. Yeah. So you go down to level 1. There aren't that many level 1 characters other than the real back end heavy guys that he isn't stunning on his own.
It's pretty good. There's obviously Underworld's, and it's not been utilised that well so far.
Yeah.
There are some really good plot twists in there. Like Pain and Suffering is a good card.
Yeah.
Fair and Balance it's not fair and balanced. Like that card is just nuts. Like it's a good card.
kills Ultron.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, there's a lot of good stuff that this card can do. I'm quite excited. I think it fits a lot of people's play styles that haven't really been able to play like to what they wanted to. It's purely disruptive. It's really nice, good control card. It can swap in for Magneto. Like if the meta doesn't fit the Magneto, this one is a little bit different, and without like having to lose too much. It's really nice.
Yeah, I also thought the Magneto deck was weird because it was like a control deck, but it destroyed locations, which is something like an aggressive deck wants to do. And then it had some weird blue ability, and I think the blue ability on this is great.
Yeah.
And what you get to surround it with is just really powerful. And I think maybe this could have a good matchup against Dark Phoenix because unlike Professor X, who is controlling, you get to actually be proactive, and you just get to land a Ronan. You get to protect a Doctor Doc Ock. You get to make a Sabretooth. There's Venom, who's on par. You get to the late game. If you make a huge black card against like something like Dark Phoenix, there's no team attacks in that deck. Like your team attack is you can make Pixie, Singularity, and low key attack, and that's about it.
So you got your Thanos and your Dormammu, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but none of them can.
Yeah. Comparatively.
Yeah.
Right. So now that we're finished with the Baron level 2, we've got the other main characters that are being spoiled. So we all know Thor's good. He's pretty good. We all know Ultron's. Oh, it's glasses time. Ultron's good. He's thematic, but I think Ashley wants to talk about Cyclops. Go on, Ashley.
Cyclops is the man. This game is basically about combat, and Cyclops is the master of it. So, in your turn, Cyclops is attacking, and he's choosing who you block with in his team attacks. On your turn, he's choosing who you're attacking because he's got BAMF, which I suppose is called Uncanny Defenses. So he's just actually great because this game is based on combat, and he's in control of all of it, and your opponent just isn't. Your opponent's got what they want to do and what they think is a good block and what they think is a good attack, and you just get to interact with that on your terms. And I think that could be really good for some sort of tempo deck with a really structured speed of X-Men. Like you get to play Iceman, you get to play Hope Summers to repeat that. Namor is great. You just get to get right in there in the back row, and then as well, if you're playing towards his level up, you're just going to play all the plot twists that care about that. So you've got loyal soldiers in the early game, you've got SWAT tactics, and then in the late game, enough of you guys have probably gone in the bin that you can just get in there with Ghost Rider. Like doesn't matter anymore. The game's over. And we can talk about 5 wounds not being enough, but you are never getting wounded on your turn unless you want to. Unless it's the correct thing to do, your guy only gets stunned when you want him to. So I think that's probably right, and I've said too much, so please edit this.
So everybody likes Cyclops.
I think it's really, again, it's a testament to good testing on their behalf. Like when they've been going to make the cards, if he had 6 wounds, he'd be too good. Yeah. Like Ashley said, he's not going to get wounded that often unless you let him, or you don't draw the cards that you need. Like, if obviously you can say, but if any deck draws the cards they need, they're not going to get wounded. But this is one that wants to run all the stuff, and it's not going to get hurt by running it. It's good. It's a good card.
Yeah. Another thing's like 6 wounds on an aggressive character is just too many. Because there was times like when you're playing against Captain Marvel or Deadpool, and like you're playing the mid-range or late-game deck, and you've basically won, but the game isn't over for another 4 turns, and your opponent's just sat there miserable, looking at the 2 cards, going, "Oh, that's not very good against what you're doing," and the game just takes well too long. Whereas when we've got 5, when you've turned the corner, it's like 3 turns, it's over. Like let's shuffle and let's play again.
Can we be biased and really say that we had the best spoiler so far?
I think we have.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite to what we've seen with the other cards. Like this is like we've had aggro, and then we've got this.
Yeah.
This feels like a villain as well.
Yeah.
But without being a bit rude, like Thanos was definitely a villain, but it was also slightly too good. This is a villain that people are going to enjoy, like the thematic aspect of just fighting against it. But I think there's still going to be a bit of fun for everyone, because if you get ahead of it, like with Cyclops or Thor, then he's in trouble. But you've got a lot of tools to try and balance the playing field. If you stay alive until you put Blackheart in the front row, game over, man.
We just do a quick shout out to Mark. I know he's seen a bit of abuse, but he doesn't deserve it. He's doing his job and he's doing it well. Like there's obviously reasons why he can't say stuff, why he didn't tell us stuff. Like, it's not his decision at the end of the day. Like, he has done a good job. Like, some people say, yeah, but no, like, he is working hard, and like, yeah, I think he's doing a really good job.
Yeah, he goes above and beyond. Mark's in there. He's replying when people tag him. He's saying, "Look, I'll tell you as much as I can when I can," and he's doing so much more than what other companies do. He should really be applauded for putting his neck out there anyway, isn't he? Because he's the one who gets all the abuse as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he gets the flack,
Mhm.
and he deserves more credit.
mhm.
Yeah, and
They told us they were going to come through, and then they did. So
Yeah.
I've no faults for him. You know,
Yeah.
there was a little bit of writing in the early days, but it was all in jest. And you know, I've retired that now.
You're writing for the big bucks already, man, Ashley. And where's my summer big bucks? Right. Well, on that,
I'm writing for Squirrel Girl. You know, I want to do this next week and show Squirrel Girl.
yeah, give us it. Come on.
should we do the legacy review, and it's just 20 minutes of
I
Matt.
wouldn't even mind having it second.
Yeah, exactly. Even if someone else does it, just we'll be back. Squirrel Girl, 20 minutes of just me just saying it's got 4 attack, it's amazing. It's got 3 defense, broken. If this happens, mind blown.
We got some special effects over there. It's like
The explosion coming out of Matt's head.
It's going to be beautiful.
Right, we'll leave it at that because Matt needs to go and give himself a shower. And so thanks everyone for watching, and remember, stay around for the post-credit scene because there may just be one. Thank you very much.